Yo, yo, here we go. When you have a degree in something that doesn't exist. Don't you think that if the earth was round, our shoes would have a curve on them? Halley's Comet equals light shining into waters above or liquid. Um, I guess even Crow 777 has actually recorded a wave, a lunar wave. So it's in a liquid. So that kind of verifies that. Virgin Galactic started in 2004. They have never been to space. Never been to space. And then they have the little analemma here, right here. Just to tell you, hey, we know we're not going to ever go to space. Because this right here, the analemma, proves the Earth is flat. See right here, the outer loop here? That's our winter. That's the sun's loop. In our winter, it's a big loop. And it's in the sun's loop. Here is a small loop in our summer. See, it's a tighter loop. And it goes, because it's a smaller and tighter loop, the sun goes slower. So it crawls across the surface slower, burning it up more. So in our northern hemiplane, in our summer, it's a tighter loop. It goes slower, so it has to be a higher altitude. Like a Christmas tree shows you the altitude change of the sun at the highest point, and at the summer solstice, June 21st, its highest point. That's this North Star at the top of the Christmas tree, of course. But that you see the Christmas lights on the Christmas tree spiraling up and then spiraling back down. That's the path of the sun. That's the ecliptic path of the sun. Because in our summer, that tighter loop, it goes slower, but it's higher altitude. Otherwise, if it was the same altitude as our winter, when it's much lower, we would fry. It would fry us. And Australia wouldn't be able to get any sunlight because the ceiling is relatively low. Okay? The sun and the moon are very, very close to the ground, relatively speaking, okay? And same with the firmament. The stars are very close to the ground. That's the problem with these retards, okay? They don't understand that when you're in a house, when the ceiling's low, it's like a house. When you go into another room, you're looking at another part of the ceiling because it's low. And all this NASA shit's got them thinking the stars are so far out when they're right there low. So it just fucks everything up, these retards. And so that's the problem with that. Now in our summer, the sun's much higher and we would fry. And because it's higher, we get a more direct sunlight. But because it's higher, Australia can still get that winter sun. To them, it's winter. So, when the sun is at this long, when it's our winter, on the other hand, when it's our winter and it's a big loop, it's going much faster to make that 24-hour day. But it's lower to the ground, so it gives Australia more heat in the summer. It's a balance. It's pretty fucking crazy how it's balanced out like that. How the sun goes up and down, in and out. Just enough. Otherwise, if it was too low, it'd fry us, and then they wouldn't get the sun. And then if it wasn't lower here in Australia, in our winter, they wouldn't have much summer heat. So it's just crazy how it balances out. Now this is an actual official NASA image. It's not a photo or a picture because it's a fake image. They have to put image here. Chinese satellite image, but how? See, look, they got China has, see the China, they're all in it together, okay? All the space agencies are in it together because everything's a big fucking, all governments, it doesn't matter, the elite at the top, they use them all together. It's a big joke. Everything is a big joke. Everything's about control. Sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? Travel the world in the 7 seas. Anyway, they know it's flat. Okay, again, here's the path of the sun. They're showing you. The Christmas tree puts it in your face. Now out here at the bottom of the Christmas tree, when the sun is a big wide loop, when it's a bigger circle, it's our winter. But it's lower and faster, lower to the ground, and it's going much faster because it's got a lot further to go to make this 24-hour loop now. As it comes in, it slows down. Hence, the tortoise catches up to it. The moon catches up to it at the equator. It's all there, man. The hare and the tortoise, that's where you get the story of the hare and the tortoise. Because by the time when the sun's loop starts spiraling back in, it starts heading up higher as well and slowing down. And it starts really slowing down as it tightens up in here. Otherwise, we would fry. It starts slowing down, starts getting much higher as it gets in a tighter loop, or we would fry. The altitude gets much higher and more direct sunlight from above. You can't hide from it. You get more shadows, and when its loop is further out, you get more shadows. That's why that fucking gopher, or whatever the fuck it is, groundhog, day, is looking for those shadows to go away, the angle, because now the sun is more directly above, overhead. Okay, this is the only result of water on a ball that spins regardless of size, weight, or scale. A mathematical calculation will not change that. Notice how the water traverses to the equator and it spirals off all at the equator. See how these three lines here are lined up together? They spiral off together at the equator here on this side, and then they spiral off together at the equator at this side. See the lines lined up together? So the fact that there isn't tons of oceans flying off at the equator is a good sign that we're not spinning at 1,000 miles an hour at the equator, see? Get out of here with your formulas and mathematical theories. From about 350 years ago, a spinning ball won't hold water. Stop insisting. Look, people, don't stick to a spinning ball. It's the opposite. They teach you the reverse of truth. And here's Robert De Niro in the movie, I guess it's Cape Fear, I believe. And then here's Medusa on the International Fake Station. Medusa, because her hair looks like she's got them up in snakes. And she looks like a witch. She's a NASA deceiver. Looking pretty Israeli, probably. Yeah. Freemasons. Deceivers. And that's her. And it looks like this guy's looks like she's upside down. Not as much as that other one. She doesn't even, man, they got the hair so, look at this hairspray here. It's sticking together. See how that's stuck? See how her strands of hair stick together like that? That's not natural. That's hairspray. NASA, governments are supposed to lie to their citizens. This retard who doesn't believe in says shit like this, good shit, and then he says 9/11's real like a jackass. Go fuck yourself, traitor. If there was 20 ways of telling the truth and only one way of telling a lie, the government would find it out. It's in the nature of government to tell lies. If you think the Vatican lied about the globe but not Jesus, you're still indoctrinated. In the age of green screen technology, how do you know what you're seeing is real? In George Orwell's 1984, the first colonizer of Mars is named Elon. Can't you smell the deception yet? And so this guy's name, they named him Elon Musk, and he's going to take you to Mars now. But you can't go to Mars, it's a light. It's one of the, out of all the lights that move, there's only a few, out of all the lights, the stars above in this studio hologram system, out of all of them, there's only a few of them that move, and they're the projectors that create your form and everything, and it's the same system over and over again, this waxing and waning, and going through the constellations of the zodiac, same system over and over again. Never changes. There's nothing new under the sun. Anyway. Globies be like P1000, 125 optical zoom, most advanced zoom camera ever made. Galileo's telescope 375 years ago, only a 20 times zoom capability. Alright, I did that. On Venus, it snows heavy metal and rains sulfuric acid. Except in real life. Real life. When you can see through it, it's translucent. When you can see through it, you ain't landing on it. Understand? No GPS over the open ocean. Prove the satellite does not exist. Does not exist. God damn, did I read that? No, I read that right. Prove the satellite is not exist. God damn. Is not exist. Sorry, that's just funny. Yeah, it's all good. The meme makers can mess up. Anyway, so point is the reason you don't pick up any radar over the sea is because they don't have a bunch of towers over there. And it's not to say they don't have buoy towers, but not the same density as over land. And you can prove this. You can see their radars. It's funny. Disclosure of the alien deception's coming. Do not be deceived. Aliens are not from outer space, but the demonic spiritual realm. Do not be deceived. Check out Project Bluebeam, where, they actually, space doesn't exist, and there's a fucking military arm of space or some shit, NASA and so forth. Whoops. When your Einstein theory of gravity experiment demonstrates mass warping space-time, and then all the planets crash into each other at the center. Look at your precious gravity. Look at it! It's just laughable. Because it just goes to show all these retards that everything would have clumped together, and you just have one ball left. That's all you would have. Everything, the bigger and bigger something would get, the stronger its gravity would have to get, right? And it would just keep getting bigger and bigger, and it would snowball effect, if you will. How a snowball accumulates more snow as it rolls down the mountain. It's the same thing. Gravity, it would get bigger and bigger, stronger and stronger, until just one ball would be the strongest, and it would suck everything into it until it would be nothing less but a ball. The opposite of the Big Bang. Moon landing tapes got erased, NASA admits. Oh, there's 10,000 tapes, they just lost them. No, you can't do that. You can't pay billions of dollars and lose something. I'm sorry. It's just not impossible. It's just not possible. Okay, clearly strapped into a harness, but just ignore that, because space is real. It's not. He's being sarcastic. Okay, while the ball Earth is supposedly doing this, a hole in the Georgia Guidestones remains permanently on Polaris. Motionless Earth. Side effects from spacewalking. Coriolis foot. Shoes on backwards. Come on, people. When NASA disciples realize that pictures of Earth from outer space are cartoons. So nobody trusts government anymore. 81%. 19% retards out there. Complete fucking retards. Dumber than dog shit. But yet they still trust NASA. This is how dumb they are. Still pretty dumb. Straight bent. What all flat earthers have in common: we all thought the earth was a globe. We all thought that flat earth was a joke. I guess I didn't really think it was much of a joke. I didn't really think either way. We all have done in-depth research on this topic and agree. Once you go flat, you never go back. Oh my God, they gave Cox the pedophile medal. I don't believe the earth is flat. I know it's flat. Images from ISS 400 kilometers from Earth. View from space Tesla. So none of their shit. NASA can't even get the cartoon images consistent. They can't even put it in the numbers and set them. They're inconsistent. The moon landing has a place on the Hollywood stars actors sidewalk for a reason. For a fucking reason. It's a joke. They're actors. It's in a basement. Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement. Mount Fuji flat. Tokyo, Japan. Look at these buildings. They're not curving. They're not tilting. They're perpendicular 90 degrees from the ground. No matter where you look, they're 90 degrees perpendicular from the ground. They're not tilting. The horizon comes up to your eyes. It's flat. If it wasn't flat, it would have to curve down from your feet because it's a ball. You wouldn't see any of this land because there wouldn't be any land because it's not flat. But it is flat because it comes up to your eyes. If a slight tilt of Earth creates winter, with the sun 93 million miles away, then why doesn't the dark side of Earth facing away from the sun freeze over every night? First rule of Globe Club, don't talk about Globe Club. Spaceship. Okay, let's see. Okay, I got this far. I'm going to go to the... Whoops. Let's go to this one. Balanced, complete magnetic torus, dome, terrain, flat, Earth. Now I want you to take this H and put it over here and you get heart. And I want you to take this H and put it over here and you get Earth. Earth, heart. Okay, so Earth is in the middle, balanced, center, flat plane, dielectric plane of inertia, Earth. It's in the middle. Electromagnetic field of the heart and electromagnetic field of the Earth. You know. Space Tard 1, here we go. Like I said, Department of the Space Force, United States of America, they're going to make up everything. I mean, they're teaching theories like evolution. You came from a monkey with zero evidence in college. You're paying for them to lie to you and to tell you that you came from a monkey lie at that. Something that's insane. And they pay for this shit. You pay for them to lie to you. You can't make this stuff up, folks. If you girls research flat Earth, of course, Fred. Who hasn't? I want a unicorn. Maybe pick something real, please. Okay, how about real pictures of Earth from space? What color unicorn do you need? Would you like? Only one doesn't match. All of these pass the scientific method. They have containers to hold in pressurized air and containers to hold in the water. The only one that fails is this one. There's no container to hold in the pressurized air. They're saying that air is doing that. It's an atmosphere. We know that it has to be a physical barrier, so that doesn't work. That fails immediately, the scientific method. And then, obviously, there's nothing here to hold the water in. It's just a ball of water, a drop of water. They say an unproven theory. Actually, it's proven that gravity doesn't exist. It's just all you need is the characteristics of electromagnetism, which is the laws of density and buoyancy. It's because the only thing you need to counter is electromagnetism. To float, the only thing that you need to counter is electromagnetism. If that's all you need to counter and you rise from the ground, then there's nothing else holding you down. Not holding you down, but there's nothing else. Let's see here. So the water holding it in, and then this thing's supposed to be fucking spinning. And when I say spinning, we're talking about 2 times faster than a speeding bullet. Let's just say 1 speeding bullet. That's how fast this thing's. No, 17,000 miles. Let's see here. No, 1,000 miles at the equator. Water should be flying off here from and at the equator. But it's not. It doesn't do that. So, convergence point. This is really level, but foreground rises and background falls. The illusion of sunrise, sunset, and ships disappearing over the horizon. So this line here is all flat. The only reason you can see this light here on the ground here is because it's flat. Curved surfaces don't reflect light that way. See, it's the law of perspective. Are these street lamps setting or receding? They're not setting because it's flat. They're just receding. Again, this proves how everything in your vision, this is how your vision works. Everything from the right of you goes towards the center. Everything from the left of you goes towards the center. Everything below goes towards the middle, the horizon point here. And everything at the top goes down to it. So that's how your eyes work, man. It's a fucking hologram. These are stars. These are stars. You are not landing on them because you can see through them. They're translucent. They're morphing in and out of different hexagon shapes. Because the stars above the moon, the moon is not a hologram. The moon is a light, a celestial luminary light. All the stars up there are lights. We're the hologram, okay? We are the fucking hologram, you fucking retards. We are the hologram. There is no fucking doubt. I've seen it. I can see it with my eyes. The hologram also has left record that it's been turned to stone when it was at a higher frequency, and now we're walking on it. It's called the dielectric plane of inertia. Evidence that I've gathered. Went to the moon, took 5 pictures. Went to the bathroom, took 192 fucking pictures. Give me a break. This guy didn't go to the moon. And then again, where's all the pictures of Earth from the moon? Right? Clouds in front and behind the moon. That's awkward. Proving that the moon is local. And it's just right there. It illuminates its own light. NASA is spending billions of your tax dollars on imaginary science. Meanwhile on Earth, suffering. And all the people allow this because they're basically retarded. The astrolabe, predicting the motion of celestial bodies using a flat geocentric instrument for over 2,000 years. What cannot work on a fucking globe. Again, 5,000 feet here altitude, 4 times higher, 4 times the flight time. How much more you would have to fly. Doesn't work on a globe. Why don't we see satellites cross in front of the moon? Here's a picture of the plane. You can see it clearly going in front of the moon. Look at all these satellites that they say is on Earth. You don't see a single one passing because they don't exist. They blatantly lie to you. Temperature degrees in Celsius, September. Equator, Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn. So again, in here, let me explain this. Yikes. I guess. Oops. So, okay. Here's the moon. Here's the sun. Now here's the red line. See the red line here? That's the equator. That's the size of the loop of the sun at the equator. That's its loop. Now this yellow one is the Tropic of Capricorn. That's the size of the loop, the sun's loop, when it's in winter for us. It's a much further loop. It's further from us here. We're right here. And so when this is the Tropic of Cancer here, it's a smaller loop. The sun's closer to the U.S., see? Now look it out here, the Tropic of Cancer, Capricorn. Look how much further the sun is away from the U.S. That's our winter. And look how much closer it is to Australia. Here's the Capricorn, Cancer, Tropic of Cancer. Look how further the sun is away from Australia. And it's higher as well. But when it's right here, the sun's lower. But it goes much faster by because it's got to make that further 24-hour loop. So when by the time the sun makes its loop into this, into this Tropic of Cancer here, and the sun's got a tighter loop, and it's our summer, it's much higher and much slower. It doesn't have as far to go, so the sun doesn't have as far to travel. It's slowed down. And again, right here at the equator is when it's slowed down enough for the moon to catch up to it. And the tortoise, starts catching up to it here. It starts slowing down. And the tortoise catches up to it and wins the race. Or whatever the fuck. To the Tropic of Cancer. It gets there first because it catches up by the equator. Anyway, that's the story of the hare and the tortoise. And so, to explain to you the different speeds of the sun and so forth, and how it starts out here where the sun's really fast. It's a hare. It's a rabbit. It's really, really fast. But then it starts wanting to take a nap. It starts slacking by the equator. Then the tortoise catches up. What's going on here? Oh my God, come on, man. So what the fuck happened? Oh my God, dude. Oh my fucking God, hold on. This is your space agency. Billions of dollars a year out of your pocket, and these motherfuckers can't even put their shoes on the right feet. What the fuck? Again, real stars. Look at the water here. See the light coming through, shining through the water. See how it refracts? See that? See how it refracts? Sonoluminescence. Sound frequencies in the water creating light. If the equator is the hottest place on Earth, then what about Earth's tilt? So again, proving. So here on a flat Earth, everything makes perfect sense. It's hotter here in the equator because that's where the sun is more. When it goes furthest out, it's still somewhat here. It's furthest in, it's still somewhat there. Now, when you look at when they do this, here's the 23 degrees tilt. By the way, you get 6.6. That's your Freemason fingerprint, so they can laugh at you. So the tilt here, and they're saying it's like this because they forgot about the tilt. So they're saying, here's the red here, forgetting about the tilt when it should be this way. So, see how they're basically retarded. So in your face, Google here, flat Earth dome, sun, moon, stars. There you go. What you're seeing here is a mirage. What you're seeing here is real. 99% of humanity fails to solve this riddle. If water always takes the shape of its container, finding its own level, excuse me, which of the following is unrealistic and totally fake? This curvy ball here. Sunset reflection on water. Moonset reflection on water. Are these light bulbs setting over the concrete too? Only a small close light source can illuminate the clouds directly near it. The moon is close and the earth is flat. And light has a limit. That's why when you go outside the distance of the street lamp, you can see the outshine of the light, and it has a limit to where it stops lighting up. And when you go far enough into the woods or forest or away from the city, you don't see these lights anymore because it has a fucking limit. Look how flat that is. The moon is reflecting light from the sun. Then why does the moonlight test cooler in the moonshade? Than in the moonshade, I'm sorry. It's when you go into the shade, it's warmer than outside of the shade at the moonlight because this moonlight's cold. It's a square wave. It's opposite. It's magnetic. The sun is electric. The moon is magnetic. The sun here, look at here. See these electrical discharges? This is clearly used to be a sun. You can see all the discharging here. These are electrical discharges all over the surface of it. And these morons will tell you like, oh, it's comets hit that. Well, only one side faces the earth, so the comets had to come from us, shooting it up at the surface of the earth that always faces us. It turns on a dime. If you were to see pretend this is a rabbit, these are the ears, the head, the body, you know what I mean? It turns on a dime. So, sun tells you what time it is, the moon tells you what day it is, and the stars tell you what month it is. Just like a perfectly designed timepiece. The sun goes around every 24 hours. The moon 24 hours, 50 minutes. It's a little slower because, again, it's a malfunctioned sun. It's not going to do the 24 anymore. It's slower. It's been fucked up. The firmament above spends 23 hours, 56 minutes. It's called a sidereal day. So these are the three motions in the sky above. The only motions that move: your sun, moon, and the firmament above. Carousel moves like a carousel, a chandelier of light itself. And then the other ones are the rest of the ones that move, the what they call planets, or the Elohim, whatever. These are the other, Mars and so forth. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. These are the other ones that move to help, when they move, to help project the hologram. Charging phase, self-illuminating moon, and discharging phase. The moon is used to be a sun. You can see all the marks here on the surface. What you're seeing here is probably it's a heating element. The sun is a heating element. The moon's a heating element, and they shine heat. You feel the heat. It's electromagnetic. You feel the heat when it gets close to us. NASA figuring the curve of the fisheye lens at 19 miles altitude. General public sending up high altitude weather balloon, 22 miles altitude. It's flatter than piss on a platter. Noble inert gases exposed. Electrostatic source. Again, firmament and the pressurized air is creating different colors. It's a dome above. You have to have this physical barrier. You can't have high pressure systems and low pressure systems without a physical container, to hold the air in. You have to have a container, like a balloon. You blow air in a balloon. The balloon is the container. You have to have a container for air, or it'll just blow away, right, out of the balloon. Without that balloon container, you'll lose that air. So we have to have a physical barrier. We know about it. The ancients have known about it. It's called a firmament dome. This morning's total lunar eclipse on the planet Mars is a view from Brisbane. I took a photo every 5 minutes and then stacked them to produce this image. Images from ISS, 400 kilometers from Earth. Didn't I do that one? So you don't trust the government, but you trust NASA.gov. NASA gives all the contracts out to Lockheed and all of them. So it's part of it's a huge fucking scam to take that $19 billion a year to give it to all these their buddies. Everything's a scam. Now, here's Google. There's the dome. And then here's Google again, putting the dome in your face all the fucking time. Look at this. Dome, dome, dome. Fucking dome. Dome, dome. Earth Day, dome. Google knows it's flat, and they put it in your face. Did you know over 35 moon craters are named after Jesuit priests? All roads lead back to Rome, the Vatican, man. These fucking demon fucks, they've taken over there, man. Look, heliocentrism is a religion. It's heliocentric. He lies and sins and tricks. Heliocentrics. He lies and sins and tricks. Okay? The world is round, the earth is flat. I'll do anything for you. Stop believing the earth is flat. Wrong. This satellite dish is supposed to be pointed due north vertical as it's near the North Pole, connecting to a satellite in orbit, but it's not even 90 degrees. Laughing my ass off. The satellite hoax. Research flat Earth. Everything is using towers. Again, if there were satellites traveling at 17,500 miles an hour, that would leave you no time to receive and transmit any data. It's 5 times faster than a speeding bullet, you fuck. Or 17 times faster than a 1,000 miles an hour speeding bullet, you retards. It's fucking ridiculous, this idea of satellites. I'd love to see you try to make a satellite work, you dumb fox. Mojave ground equals squirrel. Look, they're telling you this is on Mars and it's just on Devon Island because they're picking up all kinds of shit. globe anomalies, anomalies. No proof of curve, no proof of spin, no proof of axis, no proof of tilt. Ocean's always flat and level, impossible on globe. Straight horizon rises to eye level at every altitude. Crepuscular rays prove sun's close because you just follow the sun's back to the rays to the source, and they all go to one clear source, local source. Zoom lens proves moon is close. Consistent constellations prove we don't orbit the sun. Mercury and Venus visible at night, impossible on the heliocentric model. Magnetic pole, electromagnetic. Negative moon, positive sun. Water currents, equator. Electrolytic dome battery, outside clockwise, inside counterclockwise. Anode, cathode. North, south. Electromagnetic, self-sustaining. All ancient civilizations knew it. They depicted the earth as flat. Then there comes along this dipshit retards NASA, where that completely fails its scientific method. There's no container to hold pressurized air. Look, I took meteorology in college and oceanography and meteorology. And when they teach you about high pressure systems and low pressure systems, well, a low pressure system, you have bad weather because it's low pressure. The pressure pushing down on the ground is low, so the air rises easier. Hot air rises easier. So you get a lot more chance for moisture, for that air to rise and that moisture to rise and cool and condense and come back down as rain. You're going to have bad weather. Now, that's less likely with a high pressure system. You're going to have good weather because there's high pressure pushing down on the air, and none of that air is able to come up now and let that moisture cool and condense, so you don't get the rain. You can't have any of this without a firmament, without a barrier firmament dome. See, he's holding the fucking thing. See the dome? You got to have that. See the dome here? The firmament, you have to have that. It's a closed ecosystem is completely self-sufficient. The water cycle. Earth is an enclosed system. We cannot leave the Earth. Bill Nye the Science Lie. Again, the astrolabe disproven the globe for thousands of years, despite Earth's supposed rotation on its own axis and its alleged revolution around the sun in the vast vacuum of a theoretical outer space. The astrolabe has been used as a tool by sailors, astronomers, and navigators alike to determine local latitude with incredible precision. Incredible precision. Please like, share, and subscribe. Much love. I love you all.